Hello, you divine, infinite human beings. You're all that is, ever has been, and ever, ever, ever shall be. And here it is, my book, The Infinite Human. It made it to the States with me. It's a miracle. So we're together again. And it's so funny. As soon as I got it, it's like everything fell into place. And I realized, got this umbrella on the top of my head. I realized why I had to come back to the States, and really it solidifies, the last chapter, which is the co-creation of the new infinite earth and the consciousness renaissance, was just theory when I wrote it, alone in my villa, and I was just downloading the information. But now I can see how it's the bifurcation of timelines is playing itself out. And I knew there was a bifurcation of timelines for a long time, but I just couldn't see. Now, how is that? How is there going to be two Earths? What is it? The planet going to split in two? I was like, how is this physically going to happen in our day-to-day life? Because all this spiritual information is real. It's not just, the philosophies, oh yeah, the bifurcation of timelines, I'm just going to be meditating in the 5D, blah, blah, blah. No, it's extremely real, and I see it playing itself out every day around me and in America, because I think this is where it's probably going to be the most visible and invisible because it's all right here happening in the States, but only those with, aware, awakened eyes can see what's happening, which is the problem, the danger of it, okay? And, this, my book tour, everything is, a last final wake-up call, because these timelines are solidifying with the blow of the trumpets that were coming up on November 8th. And this will be the last year that there's going to be some kind of fluidity. And for me, I'm realizing I'm on the 3D timeline right now very much, coming back to my past, my childhood in America, and realizing it's for those of us that are awake and aware. I think there's going to be a wonderful opportunity this year, although it's a very challenging one. And when I'm talking this year, I mean November to November of next year, 2023. To really just get ourselves off that timeline and free ourselves from it, because the two timelines are going to be separating, and one is falling, one is going nowhere, one is staying in an artificial time loop and probably end up in a fallen universe. Okay, not to get you frightened, but believe me, and that those that are on that timeline are not even going to know it. They're not even going to know it. It's just going to be so easy just to stay in the same old, and they'll just be more and more encapsulated in this AI dream spell. And the ones that get off are going to not only survive, but thrive. And you're going to become so wealthy. And I'm not talking just like stocks and silver and, things like that. You're going to have the real wealth, okay, which is, of course, nature and good food and good friends and good communities and love and higher consciousness and higher awareness and abundance and creative expression and freedom. That's abundance. That's the true wealth. And the rest will be so encapsulated and embroiled and enslaved and encumbered by this system. They will own nothing and probably love it, but not even know the difference, They will be miserable, but they won't even know how miserable they are. They will be so brain fogged. And I see it every day, and I can't say where, because it's not like, oh, this country. No, it's not a country, and it's not necessarily the U.S. or Italy or Russia, and it's not even, I'd say the big cities stay out of, definitely, but there are pockets in the cities, but there are areas on the planet that hold higher frequencies. Hi, thanks for joining me, Lisa. Hi. And then there are areas that are holding the lower frequencies, especially the AI frequencies. So I think everyone will intuitively, and needs to intuitively, especially this next year, find your spot on the planet, just your feel-good spot. It's not rocket science. It's just a place, most likely in nature, where you just commune, you feel good, you feel drawn there. And that's your spot, it's your pocket, and that is on the ascending timeline. And you'll know because you feel good there, you'll feel connected. And that's a good place to anchor yourself into the higher frequencies and to just kind of tune out all the distractions and get your information directly from source. You're going to be able to download it. The more that you can earth sync with that sacred space, that sacred spot that you're being led to, and the more you'll be able to get your information, and you begin to build it and trust it and build that relationship inside yourself with infinite source, both from the nature and from the photonic belt, the activations from the sun, from everything, from the organic activations. And you'll become more, as you build that relationship more and more, that will become your rock, that will become your solace, that will become your anchor onto the 5D timelines and to what's real, the true organic timelines of ascension. And just let everything else, it's going to get really weird out there. There's going to be lots of shows going on, and their job is to try to hook you into them and get your focus away from what's real into what's artificial. And I have been just totally inundated by this artificial timelines. And part of it has also been reminiscent, you're kind of like, oh, the days gone by, and it ends up kind of pulling you back into that. But be careful, don't stay there very long, and do the grieving. The grieving, I would say people that are grieving the past and letting go of it, grieve and let go of it. You grieve to let go of something, to clear the way for something new. But I do believe that those that are really doing the work, grieving, letting go of the past, letting go of the 3D timelines, and following their intuition, even though it takes a lot of courage. It takes courage to step out of the same old, the easy way of doing it. Those are going to be so rewarded. You're going to find yourself in a position where you can. Thank you so much. Thank you. Where you can buy some property if you need to, or come together with other people. You'll just have miracles happen in your life, so you can extract yourself more and more out of this 3D earth. Those that keep on the same old, they're going to find everything going digital. They're not going to be owning anything, or even if they own something, they're going to find more and more restrictions. Their life's becoming more and more and more and more restricted. They're going to find their health failing more and more. And here in America, they're very efficient at killing you. They do it in the sweetest way, too. They, I just saw where my mother lived. God bless it. They did it very well, actually. Everyone, her friends went there to die, and it's these nursing homes where they lock you in, during COVID, and they run the high frequencies. Everyone's on their 5G cell phones, and they're feeding you, every day great crappy meals, and then they call in hospice to administer the drugs, and then you're out the back door, go to something called newcomers, the funeral homes that are they make you look so nice, and usher you to your little crypts, and that's that. So we're going to see a lot of people dying, and then we're going to see the young people being transhumanized and just totally on the Ubers, driving around, and they're getting all their cues from their cell phones, and yeah, they care about the planet, because they'll be like banking in green banks, and they'll be donating trees on their apps, and it's just crazy, and it'll be easy. because they'll just follow the button in front of them, and they'll get woven into this 3D artificial timeline, and they'll just be getting their degrees and going about their jobs and working in their online, and a lot of spiritual people are doing that. They're all into this holistic industry, and they're creating all these supplemental products to heal you, and alternative healing therapies, and within the web, and everything looks new, but nothing's new. It's the same old. It's been going on for eons, billions, millions of years. So they'll have new names and new colors and new mission statements and everything, but not much will change in this whole artificial web. And here in America, most people don't even own anything. They're poor, they're sick, they live paycheck, whatever. I don't even know if they get paychecks anymore, or social security payments to social security payments. They rent outrageous fees and renting crappy homes in the city centers near 5G military installations, and go to supermarkets and pay outrageous prices for food that's been trucked across the country, soon to be in driverless 6G trucks. I mean, they're feeding themselves. They're feeding that. They're making that stronger and stronger every time they get their little bit of money, and they go out and they pay, for these things. These corporates, they're funding the corporate world. So if you're in a corporate world and you're living a corporate lifestyle, believe me, guys, you're on the 3D timeline. All right. And it's just going to encapsulate you more and more, so it'll all be digital, and you'll have to have your phone or your microchip or whatever to navigate that world. And I see the big cities are smart cities. They're becoming more and more smart or stupid. And that's the bifurcation of timelines, all right? That is an artificial timeline that's just looping around again and leading into a fallen universe. But those that have the courage, those that can be the leaders, those that can be the pioneers, those that can trust their intuition, even if they say, well, I have no money, how am I going to do that? Well, you know what? Just another book besides mine, The Infinite Human, okay? A wonderful book is Mutant Message from Down Under, about a doctor who went took all her clothes off and went on a walkabout with the Aborigines around Australia. And that was one of my favorite books. Peter and I read it out loud together. And she was so wealthy at the end, because she had community. She had, she learned to listen to the nature. She asked the nature. They would ask for what they needed, to heal them, to feed them. We need to get back to that. And I know it's like, well, I can't just go in the middle of nature, take off my clothes, and of course I'm not there either. But your guides, Infinite Source knows that. And if you make the adjustment slowly, start driving around and kind of, where should I go, or using your intuition to guide your daily lives more and more, and start listening, tuning into the fairies and the gnomes and the deva spirits and the tree spirits. They'll tell you what you're supposed to be doing, how you're supposed to be living. They'll help you, and open yourself up to receiving abundance. Maybe not the way you think, maybe not the way the latest blog posts or the latest whatever, the latest podcasts or the latest leaders tell you, but miracles are going to happen this year for those who can start following their intuition, following the organic timelines. And I just released a video on my channel. It's called In Search of America. So I spent yesterday going back to historical villages that recreate things, and that's kind of getting on the artificial timeline, going back to the future. If you can go back to simplicity, go back to what's real, go back to growing and making your food, canning your food, listening to nature, listening to the Deva spirits, listening to divine infinite source within you. There's so much power there. So I've been saying, find your little sacred spot, plant your little flag, and start creating that. And I'm telling people, if you can do that, especially in the States, my God, get out, and create just a little place. It can start with a little RV or something, but if you build it, people will come. People will come to visit you, and they'll bring you gifts, that you need from the city or whatever, or they'll, if you can make dinners and stuff, they'll come to eat at your place, eat your food, buy your tomatoes and your stuff. I mean, you will become so wealthy, and you will be doing such a great service as people begin to exodus from this 3D timeline that's going nowhere, in the cities and with all the artificial stuff. You've got to get back to communities, and you can have, it might start out with just one person, and people come visit you in the country, in the forests, and then they might find land around you and build homes, and then you guys might start homeschooling, and then you might have bonfires at night and watch the stars again and sing songs and make instruments and play music. And then you might have little plays like amphitheaters that the ancient Greeks had, where you all in the community write something about your journey that year, or your connection with divine infinite creation, and the kids act it out, and you have festivals, and you bring your foods every morning to trade, and you get together and cook pizzas or fires, or make bread together, and weave carpets, and you connect with people, but you let the law of one, divine infinite source, lead you. You get your cues from internal connections with spirit. That's the way we're meant to live, guys. Not this crap, okay? Not this crap. And I feel it, I feel it so strongly. I know a lot of people think, oh God, she's such an idealist, and even I think that, and it's not that bad, but it's gonna get bad, because these are, these cities are conquered with the 5G weaponry, and they can turn it up anytime they want to. And when they get all your money digital, they can decide what you buy, what you eat, what you read, what you see. It's just gonna, it's and the timelines are separating. You have a year. You really have a year to decide where you're gonna plant yourself. All right, you're gonna plant yourself on the real organic timelines, beam steering us home to the Earth before the fall, Tara, 5D, or are you going to stay caught in this loop? And it's easy to stay in a loop, and you can complain, and you can put a sign in your front yard for your next political leader and think he's going to change it, but it's going to come from you. And you guys will be the leaders, and you guys will not just survive, you will thrive. You will thrive. And you will be creating the communities of the future that will come into fruition in Tara. Ciao for now.